Hello, artist. Welcome back to another Art Life Conversations podcast. I am your host, artist, teacher, mentor, coach for artists, both in art technique and in business, Kelli Folsom. And I'm super excited because I've been getting a lot of questions lately relating to building your art business. A lot of you have been emailing in, and of course, folks in my Art Life School community have been dropping me a lot of questions related to building an art business, selling more art. So today's topic is on how to market your art online more effectively. Okay, so make sure if you're here that you are subscribed to the podcast or to the YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And right away, we're going to dive right into some of the problems that I've seen happen. Now, these are problems that I myself experienced and faced whenever I was starting out as an artist and first starting out, marketing my work online specifically. So whenever I am going over this stuff, just know, you guys, that I have gone through all the things. I've gone through, I've made all the mistakes, it's like, and I didn't know what I was doing when I was getting started either. Okay, so I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, you might say the hard way, right? And I lost a lot of time, and that means also losing a lot of money along the way by not marketing my work effectively online. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. So I am here to just pass on everything that I've learned and discovered through this journey to you guys. So the very first problem that I see artists facing, and I know I experienced myself, is overwhelm, right? Like being so overwhelmed with how to get started in marketing your work online, not even knowing where to start. And so really just giving into that overwhelm, right? And it feels so overwhelming and difficult that then you just procrastinate it, put it off, avoid it. Okay, I'll figure that out later because I don't know how to do it. And I always call the how the like the black hole, right? Like anytime we get stuck in the how and I don't know how, and then anytime we get stuck there, it keeps us from taking action, which is going to teach us the how along the way. So that's the first problem that I see. And stick around, of course, to the end because I'm going to be sharing with you my solutions to all of this. The next problem is really simply just not being consistent enough. So once an artist that I've seen, I know I experienced this too, maybe starts to kind of dabble in some online marketing their work online, what I have noticed the most is that they are not consistent with it. They are really just dabbling and very, very inconsistent about, how often they're posting their work. So they might make a post whenever you feel like it, right? And no business can survive like that. And I want to say this, like if you are truly a solopreneur or a self-employed artist, you are in business, my friend. Okay, if you are providing for yourself your income as an artist, you are running a business, period. Okay, and there is a must in business. One of the 3 pillars of business is marketing, right? So all of us have to build a brand, and in order to do that, we have to market consistently. In order to sell consistently, we have to be marketing consistently, right? So that's the number 2 problem that I see. It's just artists not marketing consistently enough and just dabbling. The number 3 problem that I see is once they do start a consistent practice and consistent habit of marketing is that they get obsessed right away with the results too soon, right? So just not staying consistent long enough to even be able to really judge the results that you're getting, judging the results too early on, especially when you're just starting out, and then getting discouraged by the lack of results right away as if it's some kind of magic bullet that you're going to make one post on social media and everybody is going to, flock to you and want to buy that painting and follow you right away, right? So that's the third problem that I see, is just not staying consistent long enough to be able to really judge the results, assess the results more objectively, so that then you can make any adjustments that you need to. So what are the solutions to these problems? And the solutions are really the way that you are going to build a successful marketing pillar in your business and market your work more effectively online. So the first solution to that first problem of overwhelm, right? Like just not knowing where to begin, is yes, it can be overwhelming. Anytime we are learning something new, it can be frustrating and difficult and overwhelming. It was the same thing whenever you were learning how to make art, right? Like you didn't know how to make art right away. There was a learning curve, right? And with that comes sometimes some aggravation, some frustration, some time investment, some financial investment to get the education that you need, right? So you want to take everything that you had to do in order to become successful in making your art and apply it to marketing your art, right? So when it comes to overwhelm, really the solution is like you just have to pick one thing and start moving in that direction, okay? So what I would recommend is that you pick one thing that you're going to accomplish when it comes to marketing your work online. Now, here's the thing for me. I would rather see you get your email list started, set up an email list, and start marketing your work on social media even before you have a website, my friends, okay? So a lot of artists do this backwards, where they think, I must have a professional looking portfolio website, and it's gotta look slick, and it's gotta look great, and all my now I gotta take time to photograph all my art, and they spend so much time and money, way too much time and money, building a website and all the things to build a website. But a website is really not an active proponent of your marketing, to tell you the truth, online. It should just be a place where people can go to actually make the purchase, right? But when you're actively marketing, you're marketing online. You're using email marketing, you're using social media marketing. Maybe you're on LinkedIn or on Twitter. Maybe you start up a blog, to do marketing with. So you just want to pick one thing, and I highly recommend that you don't pick the website first if you don't already have a website. If you do have a website, please make sure you have an email list set up to capture email, because email marketing to those warm leads, to those interested clients, is the number one way that you're going to increase your sales increase your revenue in your business immediately. Okay, but just pick one thing, whether that's I need an email list, I'm not marketing on social media, so let me pick a platform that I'm going to commit to, like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or something, Pinterest. My favorite is definitely, my two favorites, of course, are Facebook and Instagram for artists, if you're curious about that. Okay, the solution to problem number 2 of not being consistent enough, and this is huge, 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 huge. This will make all the difference for you, my beautiful art friend. Okay, and it took me a long time to do this, and it's really just create a routine, create a schedule. There's a couple of options here that you can try out and see what works best for you, okay? Number 1 would be just a daily habit of posting on social media, or maybe it's like, okay, once a week I'm going to send out my email newsletter, but you must decide the time, the schedule. What day and time are you going to do this? Get it on your calendar, make it a routine, make it a habit. If you do not, you're still going to stay stuck in that dabbling thing, and you're really just going to get, weaker results from that, to tell you the truth. So I don't want that to happen to you. And what happens when people do that, when artists do that, then they go, well, online marketing doesn't work, or social media doesn't work. And it's like, no, it does work. You're just not being consistent with it. It doesn't work if you're doing it half-assed And if you're just dabbling, and you're just, okay, I posted once a week, that's not going to cut it. Okay. So make sure that you set aside a specific time and date that you are going to post, make your post on social media. My other recommendation is that if that's not going to work for you to do it daily, make sure you pick a day to do it in batch, right? I love batching. It has saved my life. It's saved my schedule. It has saved my business by doing batching, right? So you can use a service like Planoly or Hootsuite or something like that, where you can actually pre-schedule all of your social media posts in advance, do all your writing, basically sit down for a couple of hours, get all your posts planned out and scheduled for the entire week, and then voila, you don't have to think about it for the rest of the week. In fact, you could do the whole month if you wanted to. You could do 2 weeks worth if you wanted to, right? And when I say consistent with social media, I recommend at least every other day would be my recommendation. I would prefer you do a post a day, but if you can't start there, like, don't just drop the ball. That it's kind of like the dieting thing, right? Or the workout thing. Like, do 5 push-ups, okay? If you can't do 50, like, start somewhere, make it a routine, make it consistent, and then move up from there. As you get better at that, then you can add more onto that, right? Okay, the solution number 3 to problem number 3 is not staying consistent long enough and judging those results too early. This is also a vicious cycle that I see artists falling into a lot. Is like, let's say you're just getting started. Maybe you've have a cold social media or cold email list, right? Like, basically you haven't been active. You're the one who's made it cold. You haven't been showing up, right? Consistently or for a long time. And then I'll see an artist who's in that situation who decides, okay, I'm going to start being consistent and I'm going to start posting. Or they just get a whim and make a post. Then they're like watching the results like a hawk, like a freaking hawk, like, and then they get discouraged, right away. Oh, I only got so many likes. I didn't get hardly any comments. The problem with this is, like, you're not being consistent long enough, to even be able to see, to even be able to get your audience engaged. You're not even giving them time or giving them a chance. Like, people respond to people in businesses who are showing up consistently, right? I show up and market myself every single day, right? And so why has my business grown so big and I am making more money as an artist? That's why, because I have committed myself to showing up every day. Okay, so please, please, please do not make a couple of posts or send out a couple of emails and then get obsessed over the lack of response or people unsubscribing, things like that. Please don't do that to yourself. Please don't. It's so painful, and then again, you're basically just staying stuck in that story because most of the time artists have in this situation who are behaving this way, it's like they have a belief that somehow this is not going to work out for them, that this maybe works for other artists, but it really is not going to work for them, or, that this just doesn't work, So please don't do that to yourself. Don't obsess over the data too early. In fact, you guys, I rarely ever check my insights. Okay. I'm hardly ever, watching my posts like a hot hawk. I go in, I reply to people, every now and then, maybe once a month, I'll look to see what were the top performing posts. Is that something then that I can repeat more? Can I see any sort of similarities, any kind of common threads between those popular posts? That would allow me to repeat that success or utilize that success more in the future. And I tend to focus more on success rather than failure, FYI. Okay? So I'm always looking for what's working, okay? Because I want to keep using what's working and do that more rather than looking for problem solving things, like problems to fix, because I feel like problem solving is not creating, right? So I'm never really looking at what's failing or what didn't work so much as I'm looking at what did work, and then let's keep doing that. Okay. So I would recommend, like, if you're starting out cold in being consistent with your marketing, that you market consistently. I would say for at least a full week daily, or 2 weeks if you're doing every other day. If you're sending only a weekly email once a week, I would give it 30 days, before you really start analyzing and looking at things, right? So you want to give people a chance to get re-engaged or to get engaged if you're just starting out. And if you're just starting out, like you have 0 followers or something like that, just know that it is a long game. It is going to take you longer to build that audience if you're just starting out from scratch, okay? So just keep that in mind. So I see so many artists who get discouraged because maybe they look at my account and go, oh, well, you have, 87,000 followers. Well, yeah, I've been doing it. I've been doing it consistently daily for at least 4 years. And then before that, somewhat more consistently, not nearly as consistent as I do now, but you can't compare your results if you're just getting started. Like, you can't compare your results, that you're getting in the beginning to somebody who's been doing it consistently for years, right? And that's just like an excuse to say, oh, see, it works for Kelli because she's Kelli, and it's not going to work for me. It's just not true. It's just a lie. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you artists, how to market your artwork online more effectively. Please avoid these traps and pitfalls that I've mentioned today, because I've seen them destroy many an artist business. So that is all that I have for you today. And make sure that you go over to the Art Life with Kelli website. You can find out all of my upcoming offerings, my events. I'm going to be having an Art Stars Business Breakthrough Retreat coming up here soon in Denver. So please hop over there, check out the details of that if you're interested in that. Until next time, I'm wishing you all happy creating, powerful creators, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.